Joe. I'm the coach of the cafe. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you have not been here before, welcome in. I'm going to turn it over to the host of the event this evening, Dave Quinn.
Deputy News Director of People Magazine, an honor to be here with you today to moderate this conversation with the one and only Idina Menzel. I'm pretty excited. In this beautiful space, those past hors d'oeuvres were killing me, and I hope you've all been enjoying them as well. How many of you here saw Redwood? If you haven't, I highly recommend pulling out that Capital One card and getting some tickets after you're done. The story is incredible. It's an original American musical about a woman who's suffering after the death of her son, and she finds solace and healing in the most unexpected place. We'll be talking all about it, so without further ado, please welcome to the stage the queen, the icon, the legend, You weren't too busy.
This is not someone take my phone. I was watching my son's basketball game on FaceTime. This is coffee at what time is it?
Yeah, like 6 o'clock.
Yeah. And it won't matter. I'll be able to fall asleep. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us after 8 shows this week. You were pretty busy, and a matinee this afternoon. How do you feel about watching yourself? Because we've got a clip that we want to show. Are you comfortable with that?
I'm comfortable.
All right, why don't we roll the clip so everyone can get a peek at Redwood. I know how difficult it is to get anything made. The fact that we're here today, congratulations. You not only are starring in this musical, but you co-conceived it. And I'm so curious, what sort of planted the seed, pun intended, for this incredible story?
That's a loud. What is that? Is that like a coffee thing? I'm sorry, I hear. You hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 8 shows and you're gonna get the delusional. It's crazy. Question was what happened? Okay, so I learned about Julia Butterfly Hill, this amazing woman who was a tree sitter protesting the log companies. Why am I saying log companies?
No.
What's the word I'm always saying? Anyway, and you guys are just okay. I should start over because you're all filming this. So I saw, I learned of a woman named Julia Butterfly Hill, and I heard that she lived in a tree for over 700 days. And I thought that was just the most fascinating, inspiring, astounding thing. And whenever I hear about things like that, I always think, could I possibly do something like that? And also, wow, wouldn't it be nice, this is before I had my son, but wouldn't it be nice to just press pause and escape somewhere like that? And, you know, what would that, how would that inform me and my life and my, what I believe as a human being? And then I thought, and then the more I researched, I learned all about the redwoods and their just beautiful attributes and the metaphor they are for our lives and for resilience and survival. And I thought, in some weird way, that it would make a really cool musical. And I brought it to Tina Landau, who I always wanted to work with, and she felt the same way. We just had this sort of simpatico, and we started, envisioning this and manifesting it.
And Tina wrote the book for the musical and collaborated on the score with Kate Diaz. What was it like when you first heard those songs? Because the songs are so powerful.
Thank you. Well, Tina and I, we went on a deep dive for someone new. We wanted a woman, someone that was pretty young, someone that would not have come from the Broadway world and would maybe have a different, approach. And so we actually asked a bunch of people to kind of go on spec and send in a song or two or three. Tina gave them the situation that they would be writing for, and Kate sent in these songs, and they were just really beautiful, and we thought we would sort of go on the ride with her.
I'm so interested in how you sort of balance being both the co-creator of something. Was there ever, and the star of it, was there ever a moment that Idina, the creator, had with Idina, the actress, that sort of came into conflict?
I'd say the opposite. That's what's been so just wonderful for me is that I've never really felt conflict with anything. I felt with Tina that every idea and every thought I had was welcomed, and I felt enriched. The character and my musical songwriting sensibilities were helpful, and where my character should sing in her voice and how I could really tap into the emotionality of this character I know my voice so well, and sort of what keys infer or connect with an audience in certain places. I've always said keys, people mistakenly think that a key is just about how high and how low you can sing, but for me, I think it's about where the song sits for storytelling in your voice. Like something like Elsa would be higher so that I could feel more innocent and younger in my voice, and I tried it in different keys. And so with Jessie, I actually have to have her in a bunch of different places because she's going through a bunch of different emotions. So it was really enlightening and so fulfilling for me, and my ideas were always welcomed, and I'm all over this Redwood script and score while not intruding on their creative process.
Well, we got some audience questions in the midst of our conversation, and this one pertains to what we're talking about now. Henry from Brooklyn, New York wants to know, can you walk us through your rehearsal process? What was the process like for building Redwood?
Hello, Henry. Where's Henry?
Is that you, Paul?
Henry submitted a question. Maybe Henry's run to the back.
Can you do someone else and see if he comes back? Or did he just put it, is that Henry? No.
Why don't you jump in?
Okay, we'll jump in. Henry, wherever you are. What was the process of rehearsal?
Yeah.
Well, when you're doing an original musical, the process can be very long. It's many years, and it can be an arduous, exhausting process. It can be really rewarding, but it's something you have to be patient, because you go in a studio, in a rehearsal room, and you give that first reading to the music and the book. You don't even think about all the projections yet, although we had them in the back of our heads, and Tina had already put an entire mood board into her files, which are so much executed now, years later, what she had there in the beginning and what we were able to do. So that's always, I love that, because it's like we made her dream come read it with the cast for a week, you see all the shit you gotta fix, and a couple beautiful things that are working that make it worth holding on to. And then like 6 months go by, you revisit it, you have this director who's doing 20 other things, I'm doing a few other things, and you just keep, coming back to it. And then when we're actually here, or first we were at La Jolla, that was the first place that we were able to, explore everything with our projections as well and our video art. But the actual in the rehearsal room is a very free, exciting, comfortable process with Tina Landau. She has a very specific way of working. She's super easy to take risks and try things, and because she was constantly rewriting, because she's the writer and the director. I once said to her, because she'll come in and the next day and have just like ripped out pages of the script and wrote something new, which there's other experiences that I've been in where the writers who aren't the directors, it takes a little longer to massage them to make some changes. But she said, if I can't direct it, then it's out of it. And so it was a little bit more difficult to always be getting new stuff, and trying to figure out what that was. And we never really felt completely comfortable for a while as far as the script was going.
Well, I'm born and raised here in New York City. I can tell you that I've never seen a redwood tree before in my real life. This is the closest Central Park that I have to a forest. What was the experience like actually? Because you got to go and see the redwoods and you climbed one, right?
Yeah, I've been to the redwoods several times. I've been to the redwood forest and been on the forest floor and just experienced it like sort of a sanctuary, I like to say. It feels very, I'm not religious, but it feels like a sanctuary, like a very sacred temple or church. It feels like you're surrounded by these mythical creatures, and it's life-changing. And then I've also then learned how to do the choreography and start climbing and swinging, and so then I was taken into the redwoods through that lens and got up on a redwood, only like 20 feet up in someone's backyard in outside of Oakland. One of the guys from Bamboo, who are our swinging choreographers, I can go more into them. I worship them. And then I got to go up in the redwoods with a man named Tim Kovar, who is one of the few people licensed to go all the way up into the canopy.
Wow.
Yeah, and he took me up there. We spent the whole day. He taught me everything about them. And then I serenaded him up there with some of my songs so that I could feel what it feels like to sing and sing up there at the very top, like my character. But
A little into the unknown, perhaps.
perhaps, yes.
Seems fitting for that. That's incredible. I mean, I say I've never seen a redwood tree. I felt like I did on stage because the incredible craftsmanship of the design has really made it feel as though a redwood comes to life. I think there's over 1,000 LED screens. There's something very theatrical about nature in and of itself, but the way that it's recreated on stage is just breathtaking. What was your experience seeing that for the first time?
Oh, it was pretty chilling, but it just, let me say my experience. It was, it made me cry, honestly, because so much of this experience is the awe of actually getting this piece from someone's living room in the first little rehearsal room to where it is now. And also what I felt so profound was that
greater heights, because you were very much literally defying gravity in the show, hanging upside down while singing. What's the challenge of that? I can't imagine that's easy.
It wasn't easy. I trained a lot. I go back and forth to Oakland, where Bandaloop is. They're a vertical dance group. You should look them up. They're stunning. So they taught us how to climb, and they dance on the side of buildings, bridges, trees, mountains, all over the world. And they taught us how to climb and then how to dance. And why was I saying that? What was the question?
Singing upside down.
Oh yeah. And I just worked really hard, and I actually really love it. People always ask, isn't it so tiring? It's actually one of the two moments in the show that I really look forward to. It's just really freeing and returns me to my childhood and my innocence, and it's good on my back actually. It's like traction, like it's the hanging upside down. It feels really good. It's good stretching. There's other things that aren't as good for my body 8 times a week, but that's actually something I really look forward to.
Well, we talked about the physicality of doing a show like this, but there's so much emotion that you put into this character. Obviously, dealing with something so tragic and so hard. We're here at the Capital One Cafe, which is all about connections and making connections with people. How has it been to hear from others who have gone through something like this before, connecting with them about the emotions they feel with the performance that you're giving?
It's why we do what we do as artists and creative people. It's all about trying to connect with someone in the audience, trying to change someone, trying to have a cathartic experience together, to not feel alone. That's what the theater is all about to me. And to see people that are really responding to it or super emotionally affected. I don't like to see them in pain, but they say it's an uplifting experience, a healing experience. So that, is felt. I'm proud that we're able to, we've created something that is evoking that kind of emotion. And I'm also really, I love that people leave the theater with strangers next to them, and then they're sharing tissues and they're sharing their stories with one another, and because that's what the show is about. It's about the root connection and the roots reaching out to each other and really lifting these humongous trees up and hydrating them and embracing them and holding them and their survival together.
You mentioned your son earlier. He's 15 now? I cannot believe that. I can only assume that it's difficult to separate your own relationship with your son while you're playing a role like this. How has motherhood sort of impacted this character for you?
Yeah, well, being a mom, obviously, it has changed who I am and how I approach every project that I do in different ways. This one is a little bit more complicated because I have to protect my heart and my physicality if I'm on 8 shows a week. So there is something called acting that you do.
Heard about this.
And so I don't have to stay in character all the time. And so without going through with that processes for me and here, I think the love, the unconditional love, and the fear and the worry I have as a mother every single minute of the day really
film. It's very emotional. And have you learned a lot from Jesse, your character?
Sure. I always learn from the characters that I play. I think what's interesting is when you do an original musical or anything original, and you're part of for many years the nurturing and creative process of the development of the character. Sometimes there is a little bit chicken and egg, and there will always be a part of your soul and your being that is in the character, no matter how different the character may seem from you. You just can't escape that. That is there, and you have to embrace it. But what was it?
What you learned from her?
Oh, it's kind of redundant what I was saying. I learned that it's okay to laugh in uncomfortable situations. I learned the capacity that a woman can have that you may underestimate. We may underestimate ourselves, anyone, not just a woman, what we're capable of doing. I learned how possible it is to stuff things down so far and then keep going through life and being able to, flourish, thrive, get things done, which is not a great thing, but it's something that she does. And I learned, I think the main thing is I learned that we're not alone, you know, and we're not alone whether we finally reach out to the people around us that want to help us and be there for us, or if we're in nature, how that can be a healing mechanism for us, how life all around you is sort of beckoning you to keep on living, even through your pain.
So beautiful. But there was another reason I was crying, and if you may indulge me a little bit, just seeing you on stage again at the Nederlander Theater, where I first saw you in 1996 in Rent. Did anyone else feel as excited as I did? It was pretty incredible. What's it like being back in that building?
Feels like home, honestly. It hasn't changed very much. They did a lot of work on the theater and the house, but the backstage is exactly the same. But yeah, it's
You're in your same dressing room?
I'm in the same dressing room. It was tiny, so I opened the wall to the next tiny dressing room.
Nice.
So it's like a little tiny suite. It's nice. I love it. I'm home away from home. It brings back wonderful memories with Daphne Rubin Vega and the entire cast. I also love doing tech. Well, honestly, the beginning of the show, I come down stage and I'm center stage and I'm right there, just like Maureen would have done. And so I had a couple of those moments in the beginning when we were teching the show. Just remembering Jonathan, remembering Michael Gregg giving me direction as I stood there with my cowbell and my silly outfit. I've had a lot of those moments. I think I'm pretty good at trying to be present and stay in the moment and remember things and not get too ahead of myself and really take things in. I think I learned that on that project especially for many reasons. But it's just been full circle, real homecoming.
And in another complicated lesbian relationship, yet again.
Right, except in a story that's not about being in a gay relationship. This is what it is.
Totally. And it's also the first time you've been back on the stage in a bit since If Then, right? You're in Redwood. How has it been getting back into the 8-show-a-week schedule?
Harder than 10 years ago. But I'm surprising myself.
Are you a housewives watcher? Are you an online shopper? Like, what do you do to sort of?
I'm a stupid television,
Yes.
reality. I mean, only, that's not true. I watched Adolescence.
Yeah.
But that was on like a different time. But late at night, I go home and I just chill out and watch, bad TV. Sometimes I get on with my husband and my son and we FaceTime. That's something we want to watch together. Like White Lotus, we paused it. We got it to the exact same seconds on the thing, Like you go, nope, you're a little behind. So you pause it, you get 3 seconds, and then I just hold the phone with him and we watch it. We talk to each other.
That's so fun. He'll be coming soon enough.
He was here a couple times, yeah. Yeah.
I can imagine that's really difficult being away, but again, this show is connecting with so many people, and it means so much to so many of us. So thank you so much for putting all of your time into this. I know it's a huge sacrifice, but you're giving so much to all of us.
But I feel so indebted and grateful to everyone for supporting the new musical. I know how much goodwill you're putting out there in the world. It's a very unique musical, but I think it's different in a good way and much needed during this very complicated and tumultuous time that we're living in. But I really, really, really appreciate how supportive you are, and because it is my baby, and you never know what's going to happen, and it feels really good out there every night, and everyone leaps to their feet with tissues, but those are really good, so thank you.
Let's get to some more audience questions. Give that a round of applause. So Megan from Richmond, Virginia is curious. You've done both Broadway and film. How does performing in a play like Redwood differ from musical theater in terms of preparation and production? Or in terms of film?
Between
What's the
theater and
difference
film?
between theater and film, yeah.
Not as much as you think. For me, some people find it very different. There is technical adjustment to make, especially if you're someone like me that goes back and forth, so I never really like sit in one thing for a while. I'm going to answer this honestly. But aside from just sort of having a good director that will tell you when the cameras are like right in your face that you don't have to hit the back row of the theater. And I often have a thing, especially during a musical in a movie, I'll say, am I doing the ugly singing face? And that's because if I sing as hard as I really need, in order to hit the certain notes that I do, my mouth is open wide, you can see every molar. It's not really pretty when the camera is here. So sometimes usually we are lip syncing to a track we've already done for film. And so I can relax my mouth a little bit more and try to look more beautiful when I'm singing. That's like a stupid little thing, but mostly, I think that there's adrenaline in both. I want to be good. I want people to think that I'm good. With film, there's a lot of money going on, and you only have so many takes, and you don't want to screw up. So my heart beats almost just as much sometimes as it does when I get out there today and do a show for you. Especially if you're with someone that's really excited to be working with. So all of the same noise in my head is there. It's just so those butterflies still happen. And but other than that, the same process, the same introspection and research, and just working off the person in front of you, and it's not that different. Also, there's such a community with a cast, obviously in theater, but also on set, and so I don't know. I just don't feel like it's that different.
It must be nice to have the daily sort of completing the story from beginning to end in the theater, which you don't get to do in film in the same way.
True. So there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to doing that, because you get on the train and you go, and I don't think there's a single show where I do anything perfect. And I get hard on myself about it, but I get the chance the next night to keep doing it. And everything's in order, in succession, so that's nice. But I like also being able to just take a little chunk and work on it for the camera and really kind of get in there. And I really love doing voiceover stuff because you can just show up like crawl out of bed and do it over and over and have fun with it. And I like to play with my voice, whether it's singing or speaking. I love having my being in the studio, just exploring all the things that you can do.
Speaking of voiceover work, just a side note to say I'm so excited about Frozen 3 and 4. And we can't do with that. Okay, so Jeremy Lynn from Ohio wants to know, how has your character in Redwood evolved since the first read-through to now? Any major changes in the way that you've approached Jessie?
She speaks in run-on sentences even more. She is funnier, I think. We needed more levity in the show overall. Like I said, we explored different parts of her voice, both musically and from a speech perspective, so that we could really show the spectrum of emotions that someone feels when they're going through the things that she's feeling, from laughter to sadness to hope to frustration, real anger to denial. So we just kept, chipping away at all those things and really being detailed about it. And yeah, just more refined.
Sharper. Eileen from Silver Springs, Maryland wants to know, given the context of the show, what importance do you think one's community plays in life?
Ask me again, what is one's importance?
The importance of community. What do you think the importance of community is?
I mean, for me, it's not being alone. It's like I said before, it's knowing someone has your back. It's like I said with the Redwoods and their roots and how they don't go as deep, they go real shallow, and they reach out like this and they clasp hands and they hold each other up, and they do it for thousands of years, and it's kind of like they're holding hands for miles and miles and miles with all different kinds of trees. And I think we really feel that, when 9/11 or the fires in LA, or it's, unfortunately it takes something like that when we really feel like everybody, like a wave of that community and support, inspires in community and city. But I think in our little ways, things don't have to happen in such a crisis to feel that. I think when we're fighting towards things, when we're fighting to make sure people aren't getting lost in our world, in our culture, all the things that we believe, probably very similarly in this room, to be there for others. But mostly it's not feeling alone.
When we talk about community, I always think about the Broadway community, which I think is so unique, so special, so much love and support. You're working with such a tight-knit cast as well. Michael Park, Zachary, Piper, many great, incredible performers. What has that experience been like to build that family behind the scenes?
I don't believe that it should ever be any different. I mean, each cast has a different they have a different character, a different way that they move and laugh and explore and That's the only way we'll do our best work, and that's the only way that we will really reach out and connect with our audience. So I've been very lucky, but also I think the older I'm getting, if there was a bad egg in there, I'd be like, this can't happen.
Yeah, you know it from the get-go, I get that. Grady from Jacksonville, Florida wants to know, what advice would you give to aspiring young actors? I'm sure you're asked this a lot. What's your go-to piece of advice?
I have a bunch of things I'm trying to prioritize them. I would say to work really hard, to find coaches and teachers that you love, to be really disciplined on how you treat your voice and your facility and body, to not try to imitate anyone else. It's good to sometimes emulate people, sort of inhabit them and feel how someone may approach singing a certain way, or how someone might, their energy and how they deliver the line or their dialogue or what it seems like their process might be. But the point is that you're never going to get hired trying to be like somebody else. You're going to get hired because you're really unique. If you're unique, you might not be right for everything at first, so you have to keep pounding the pavement. But anything that I've gotten is because I was like a little different. And so it's harder, but you have to just keep believing in yourself and really try to figure out that thing. And you might not always like about yourself, it makes you insecure, but that's probably the thing that will stand out and will make you super special.
Well, Idina, after over 30 years on the boards and creating such iconic characters like Maureen and Elphaba, you are getting your Sardi's portrait this year. I'm so excited about it.
I didn't know, I already thought I had one.
Are you able to step outside yourself and be proud of yourself? As proud as we all
People
are.
have been asking me a lot lately. They've been asking me that a lot lately. Yeah. There are days I'm super proud of myself, and there are days I'm hard on myself, and there are days when I'm in the middle. But especially with this project, I'm very proud of myself. I'm proud that I was able to take this little kernel of an idea and nurture it and water it and get it all the way to a marquee on 41st Street. And I really try to take that in. I'm very proud of myself. Not as proud as I am of my son or, my life with my family that I'm building, but extremely proud and just proud that I get to do what I love for a living.
We're all proud of you. You're such a generous. You're such a generous, kind, vulnerable performer, and you've been just as much that here today with all of us. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
For your great conversation with us. If you haven't seen Redwood, everyone, and is playing at the Nederlander Theater, please go get your tickets to it. And we have a little raffle that we're going to be doing as well. So.
And the mezzanine is actually some of the best seats.
Yes, it
Because
is.
I'm up in there a lot, so you can be on the same plane as me. You can really take in a lot of the visuals. So don't be discouraged if you're up there.
Amazing. Well, you heard it here first. Get your tickets for the mezzanine so you can make faces at it.
Or whatever.
All right, so here are the raffle tickets. We're going to pick two winners. The first winner is going to win an REI backpack and sleeping bag. So,
They are.
I don't want to.
Am I reading this?
sure.
I don't know if I'm on the right thing right now. Thanks for joining us for a great evening at the Capital One Cafe. Thanks to our friends at REI. We
pounds.
That's what, I have that on the stage, I think. I have one like that.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
40 pack and an REI Trail Made 20 sleeping bag. Okay. And now, our winner is...
All right, here, you pull that out.
Oh, sorry.
Oh God, I can't
Yes.
Can you read
Yes,
it?
exactly. All right, 420021. 420.
Probably with Henry.
Have a great time climbing a redwood tree.
Thank you. We have more?
Yeah, there's one more.
We'll pick one more lucky winner to win an REI Flash 22 pack. That's different, right?
Yeah.
And a pair of tickets to see Redwood the musical. And our winner is number 4. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, the winner for this one is 420036.
Look how close that
420036.
Who is it? It's Lucy!
Come get your pack right up here, or we'll bring it to you. Looks like
Cool. That's Lucy. I don't know Lucy.
There you go. I hope you enjoyed Redwood the musical again.
Can I tell you a secret about those packs?
Yeah, tell us everything.
Slay.
Those packs are super cool for my character Jessie because they have so many pockets. And in the show, when she doesn't want to look at a particular person because he reminds her of her son, she tends to go to her business. And you know when you just like obsess over something because you don't want anyone to know what you're thinking, or it's kind of like biting my nails and use the pack. And I pretend that I'm opening a million things and doing things. You know how you do that when you're nervous? And so if you see me using that on my pack, that's my little acting thing. So, what am I supposed to the last line?
No, whatever.
Thank you to Capital One and Tiffany for their